Alright, what is up guys? My name is Brian and I work for an artist named Cloophie. So, I'm so sorry about the delay. I was actually out of town for school because it was final season. So, I had to go to the lab real quick and so now I'm finally recording. So, sorry about that. But yeah, so going back to the video, this is part 3 of the Lofi tutorial series. So, part 1, we covered building the bass, building the foundation, right? And then part 2, we learn how to make the melodies, counter melodies, embellish on that bass. Part 3, which is this video, is going to cover how to build drums. Now, a little disclaimer, there's not much to drums, especially for beginners, because I feel like you can get away with pretty simple drums as beginners for beginner beats. So that being said, what I'm going to cover today is going to be more about sound selection, where to get the sounds that you might be looking for, and pretty much just some basic patterns to get you guys started. Other announcements, hopefully you checked out the last song that I uploaded. It should be on Spotify, YouTube, wherever. It's called Last Green. If you haven't checked it out, I would really appreciate if you guys do so. And then pretty much, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would really appreciate it. I feel like this series has been really helpful to the beginners and the subscribers are going up a lot. So I appreciate every one of you guys joining the channel, showing the support. It really does mean a lot. But yeah, that's enough. So let's get started. So I went ahead and built the bass and embellishments like the melodies, counter melodies for this beat already, so that we can focus solely on the drums today. So here's what we're going to be working with today. So we have the piano, the bass, counter melody right here, melody, the bass, just following the root notes, and then some other stuff extra that I felt like adding in. So let's get into the drums. So let's start by talking about sound selection. Drums, unless you're like a sound designer or something, you're probably going to want to use samples. And so when I first started, I immediately went to Cymatics. Cymatics offers great free sample packs with a lot of options. So that's what I went for. I have the Cobra here. I feel like that's more geared towards trap though. So what I would recommend is Eternity sample pack, which gives you a whole bunch of things, but mainly you're going to want to look at the drum one-shots, which gives you claps like this. By the way, this is not sponsored by Cymatics. It's just helped me out a lot. So I'm just showing you guys what I want to use, right? So claps like this. I use a lot of closed hi-hats. And then kicks, obviously. Let's see what else is there. Snaps are sometimes cool for like cuter vibes. Like that's like very cute. And then snares. I think the snares are a little hard hitting for my taste. I like using the rim shots. So there's that. And then there's another sample pack called the Lofi toolkit. Similar thing, claps, cymbals, hi-hats, kicks, whatever, right? So I want you guys to, if you don't have a sound pack that you are already fond of, I would recommend you guys go ahead and use those. Oh, by the way, those are free, and I paid I think like $30 when this came out. It's just a Gami Fiori drum kit. I do like it a lot, but I don't think it's necessary. So they have a lot of cool kicks, clean kicks. But then again, it's $30, and I feel like if you're a beginner, you're gonna try to spend, or you're going to want to try to spend, sorry about that, as less money, the least amount, oh my gosh. You're gonna want to try to spend the least amount of money as possible. There we go. So again, not necessary, but if you want to, it's a cool option. So let's start by building the most basic pattern, okay? So this pattern, I want you guys to use as a reference, and then you can edit it, or build on it as you guys want. So kicks is literally just going to be And then, I don't know, snares. And then hi-hats. So hi-hats, I like using, I don't know, any one of these actually. And honestly, it's the most basic drum pattern, but it's honestly fine. Especially for my type of beats, I feel like I'm more melody focused. So drums, usually I keep it pretty simple, unless I'm using like a loop for a splice or something. But most of the times, like if you listen here, it gets the job done. That's the message that I want to show you guys. Now, if you want to go ahead and edit, so let's say we have this basic pattern right here. Let's say you want to add more kicks. Then you can do something like, you know, just play around. The basic pattern that we built is made so that, you know, there's no right or wrong answer. Well, I guess there are certain wrong answers, but for the most part, especially for lo-fi when the genre itself is already a little bit wonky, you can pretty much get away with a lot of drum variations. So let's say I wanted to do something like, you know, there's a lot of options that you can do with this basic one, but it all starts from this one pattern, right? This is something that I like doing, but for snares. So a lot of my beats are ambient time beats, and that means there needs to be a lot of space to, or it needs to fill up the space. So if we have the snare, what I like doing often, or this is what I used to do actually a lot, I put a left filter, which is pretty much like a low pass filter. So now it sounds like this. What? Oh wait, I put on the hi-hat, sorry. It sounds like this. And I feel like that's more of the classic lo-fi drums that you guys are used to. Now, on the left filter, or in addition to the left filter, I also like adding reverb. So now it sounds like this. Maybe not so much. So with everything together. Let's say I wanted to change it out for a clap. You see how that fills up the space a lot? And then if you play with the overall melody that we created, it sounds like. You see how that makes that little difference compared to taking the effects off? Let's say you don't like hi-hats. I actually used to really not like hi-hats. I felt like I was doing something wrong, like it didn't fit right, until I trained my ears, obviously. But let's say you don't like hi-hats, you want another option. This is something else that I found is really cool, is if you pick a percussion, so something like that, right? A shaker-ish thing. And then again, you do this again. I feel like it gives it a different, unique vibe. And then what I like doing with this is adding a little bit of delay. And maybe a high pass filter. You might hear some, I think this is what I did for one of my songs, Our Time. I had drums similar to this and it worked out great, so proof that I'm doing something right. But yeah, pretty much, I keep saying this, but it all comes from that one basic pattern, and then you make edits to it. You change out sounds, you add in, notes on certain extra beats, and you might get something really cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The drum section isn't really that intuitive, especially for beginners, and the series is for beginners, which is why, I'm trying to keep it simple. But even as intermediates and advanced producers, I feel like you can get away with really simple beats for lo-fi songs. So don't stress too much about this part. Honestly, for me, I like melody-based beats, so part 1 and part 2 are really what I'm trying hard on, and this is pretty much just making it a complete package. But that's pretty much it. So this video is probably going to be a little short, sorry about that, but next week is going to be really cool because I am getting help from a professional lo-fi producer. The topic we're going to be covering next week is, I think, mixing and mastering and just final stages of production, because I also have trouble with that. It's nice to get help from a more professional person. But yeah, that's next week. So this is it for this week. Like I said, make sure to go check out my new song, and also, what did I say? Oh yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you do so. And see you guys, I guess this week, huh? Because it's already Monday. So I will see you guys very soon, I guess in a couple days. So, bye.